I put 100 Minecraft players into a world and made them simulate a government. Together, players created their own government on my Discord server. Day 1 started quickly, with players eager to explore and to start working on their first settlements. The rules were simple. A few players were selected to be the leaders of this land. They would enforce the laws by sending a police force after any other player who broke them. The current government was being led by a player named Colmarin and his vice president Teletubby. They chose a player named Vita to be in charge of the police force. The first signs of civilization was right at spawn, where police began building a headquarters while the presidency worked on a town hall to hold all the meetings. Other players started up their bases and houses, and many began farming to prepare for what fights might break out. The first case of a fight breaking out started when a player named Skip Apple had a meeting with the government and successfully formed his own nation, which would soon become allies of the OG government. The two nations agreed that they could work together during the meeting.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Well, then this is settled.
The state of Skep quickly began to form signs of civilization, with farms and players working together. However, what was unknown to the public about the state of Skep is that they were secretly killing random intruders with traps. These deaths contributed to most of the few deaths of day 1. Don't you just hate it when this happens?
What? No way! No!
Me too. That's why I partnered up with Wepawa Hosting to bring you the best, lag-free servers. You see, Wepawa offers the best server hosting you can get on the market right now. Wepawa Hosting provides all your server needs, from Minecraft all the way to Ark. Wepawa can provide all you need at an affordable price. They have plans of all different kinds to suit your server needs. Panel.wepawa.net has the cleanest panel I've ever seen. Without Wepawa Hosting, these events wouldn't be possible. With their help, I'm able to bring you massive and fun events. Make sure to use code ThePrestonShow at checkout for 20% off your order. Now that we're done with that, back to the video. Day 2 arrived and players joined with excitement. Police were making sure things were going well, and they even built a board for people to suggest ideas for the government. After players were done working on things back at spawn, a police named Boss Game returned to find his house in flames. Soon after, other police homes were found destroyed as well. You see, the players responsible for these actions was a group called the Jungle Boys. It was a crew led by a player named Nogus on top, and consisted of a few different players. A few police decided to go out searching for these players. However, these police severely underestimated the skill of the Jungle Boys, and ended up getting killed. The OG government officially declared war on the Jungle Boys, and sent out massive groups to hunt Nogus and his crew down. However, this is exactly what they wanted, as they were able to slowly knock down every single one of the players who stood in their way. With many of the main leaders from the OG government gone, and with the Jungle Boys taking little casualties, and also getting away, the OG government had fallen. And once the Jungle Boys were grouped, they took over, declaring themselves the new leaders. By the way, guys, if you want to join these events and be part of them, go ahead and join the Discord in the link in the description. And if you're enjoying seeing these videos, please subscribe. Day 3 came upon us, and the start of Nogus getting familiar with his new presidency. Unknown to the new jungle government was a new group called the Resistance. The Resistance was made up of friends of individuals who were killed by the Jungle Boys, as well as survivors of the OG government. The Resistance gathered together and built a base where they got ready for war. The Jungle Boys gathered back where they first started for one last hurrah before going into battle. Then they went off in hopes to be able to catch a Resistance member lacking and get an easy kill. There was a player named Annabird who walked right up to Nogus and his group, then ran back to inform the Resistance. And just like that, the war began. The entire Resistance swarmed each member of the jungle and fought them, but the Jungle Boys were tough and put up a fight. This particular battle focused a lot on Nogus, who after much time fighting back was able to escape from Resistance with his life. But once Nogus was able to get away, the fight focused on his teammate Organset, who he left behind to die. Organset was killed in a lake shortly after. The Jungle Boys decided to regroup at a base they took over and discuss how they were going to stop the Resistance. At this point, they realized the Resistance might be strong enough to beat them. But their planning didn't last long when they were spotted and soon were being hunted down by Vita and another player named Mythos. These two led a charge into something I like to call the Great Chase. While the entire resistance celebrated finally killing X-Master, 2 members of the jungle group that got away took out their anger on a player named Caleb777, who was a normal civilian and was innocent. This action led to an uprising of the rest of the peaceful civilians, who now wanted to join the resistance to stop the Jungle Boys. The tides had now turned and the resistance was winning the fight. The resistance didn't stop with the hunt though. Soon after, they were able to track down Mighty Bunny and kill them for their crimes. One of the last members of the jungle group was spotted when he killed another innocent player. But when the resistance got there, Box Supreme was gone. The resistance took this time to regather and prepare. But Vito wasn't ready to stop. He continued and was able to track down Box Supreme and finish in the same spot that X-Master was defeated. Shortly after, Nogus decided to turn himself in as he realized he was a failure as a leader, leaving all his teammates to die. The players decided to hold a trial for Nogus, but some players, aka Vito, already knew that Nogus was guilty, and decided to take things into his own hand. However, this didn't go so well, as I was distracted at the time and didn't turn PvP back on. So let's just say Nogus was able to escape because of plot armor. Nogus realized that his death would mean peace for the world, because only through war can there be peace. So he came out from hiding and fought with everything he had. Now that Nogus was dead, it meant world peace. At least that's what they thought. So he finished day 3 celebrating. Also, look at Mr. Nifty just getting it down on top of the... Day 4 arrived and players were very excited, as there was to be an election deciding on who's going to be the new president. Soon the election started and many players gathered to support and watch, each candidate explaining why they should be the new president, except for one candidate, a player named Annenberg. You see, Annenberg didn't want to become the new president, the same way the other candidates did. Annem wanted to reclaim the throne that belonged to the Jungle Boys. Annem was a traitor and belonged to the Jungle Boys the whole time. He was just a spy. With the help of a few other players, Annenberg started a new era, an era of peace, only through violence. After the massacre, the remaining players split into 2 groups. One of the groups was the survivors of the bombing. These players wanted to continue and elected a player named Story Factor as president. The other group was a clan of friends who called themselves Swordstonea. They'd bring peace to the land. Peace through violence. Project Chaos Season 0 ended with peace amongst the lands, as there was no one to live on them, but just one group, called Redstonia. At the end of the final day, they cheered and celebrated, as if they were the last ones alive. Project Chaos Season 0 was a great event to host. Join the Discord if you want to join the next one.